Hi, I'm back, and I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. And I guess if I get down to it, it is still a variant on time management. Welcome to today's Morning Moxie with Larisa. I happen to be someone who is what we call guilty of shiny object syndrome. That means I have so many interests that sometimes, hmm, I have my fingers in too many pies, and then essentially time gets away from me, and things are not completed always within the time frame that I set out for it to happen. So, not necessarily a bad thing as long as for myself. Now, your journey may be different, but as a multipreneur, is my I think it's hugely important that you do have multiple sources of income. And so, yes, that will entail different interest. Or it could be a main interest that has many different flavors, if you will, right? So you can take one seed, and from that one seed, you can sprout many different branches or leaves. Before I get too philosophical, let me come back from the edge and get back to the point. What I want to talk to you today about is being a finisher, right? So, like I said, I do have I'm guilty of shiny object syndrome, and I do forgive myself for that. So I'm not beating myself up about it. But I do want to make sure that I stay the course and that I cross the finish line with these activities that I have taken upon myself. So one resource that I want to share with you is this book called Hustle. Now, I'm not sure if you are familiar with Neil Patel, but he's one of the authors, and the other two I actually hadn't heard of. But I do think this is a good book, and I hope that you will find it and read it. You can see I've got all these flags. That's because I found a lot of good intel in here. But one of the things that they do um, in this topic, excuse me, in this book, they refer to some of these shiny objects, if you will, as projects. Now, I've coined the phrase multipreneur, not originally, but I do use it because it describes what my business model is different sources of income. They refer to them as projects. So it's a really good book. I think it's a fairly quick read, so I hope that you will add that to your reading list this year. But primarily, what I wanted to get across to you was how to finish some of these projects or goals or business streams that you've devised for yourself, right? So, one of the things you want to look at is certainly write it down, but you also want to make sure that you're taking incremental steps forward each day. So, again, going back to a previous video called, actually, strangely enough, thanks, Marcia, the video immediately preceding this one. So, if you want to check that out, it's about time management, and I spoke about dividing your week up into uh, for me, I like to divide it up by business channels so that on Monday it's my real estate property management. Tuesday it is Pink Passport Society, and then for example, maybe what is that? One day a week, of course, I have to be out networking or in front of a video networking, right? Um, and then of course you have to tend to business. So Friday is simple. Friday equals financials, right? So you look at your money, look at your budget, look at your your expenditures, and where you need to bring in more revenue and that type of thing. So however you divide it up, that's just a simple system that works for me. Is to keep myself moving forward. Is to assign a day per business, a business per day, something like that. And again, it doesn't have to be a business per day. Maybe it's a part of your business. Maybe it's operations on Monday. Maybe it's business development on Tuesday. Maybe it's sales on Wednesday, and so on. However you divide it up, just make sure that you are still working on it every day so that you do move forward. You just keep chipping away. Sometimes you'll be able to knock off a big chunk. You get a big client, and so that's a big boost to your revenue goals that you set for the year, for example. The whole point is progress, not perfection. We want to make sure that you are still moving forward. So that is today's morning Moxie. Just a few tips on how you can be a finisher. And remember, finishers don't run to the finish line, they run through the finish line. So that's today's Morning Moxie with Larisa. I hope to see you back again tomorrow. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I look forward to chatting with you again. Ciao.